Hi, we're the group HamSangLui, and we're doing a presentation on our MATLAB code. I'm Chinyang Lui.
I'm Abdul Hamid.
Surtaj Saga.
Okay, so let's start. Okay, so to run our code, you open the file step 1.2, and you run the code. You click the run button. It will take a couple of seconds for it to load. So when the GUI pops up, it will welcome you with a message and instruct you how to use the GUI, how to start using the GUI. So at the beginning, you have an option to choose between commodity prices, indices, and individual commodities. And so Taj will explain how the data was imported to this.
The data was imported from the IMF data through an Excel file, and each individual column of data within the Excel file was imported into MATLAB, and each one was turned into its own cell structure, and imported into one giant structure with each individual commodity price being its own structure, which it could then be used in the functions that Abdul used to analyze the data and predict future prices, and for the for while loops.
So in order to use the GUI, to choose between the commodity prices indices and individual commodity prices, you click either one. So if you click, for example, commodity price indices, a list will be generated here for all the options available, and we'll show you the other one, the individual commodities. Another list will pop up for all the individual commodities. Okay, so let's proceed to clicking one of these options. For example, we choose aluminum. Aluminum, as you can see here in the program messages section, you should always kind of pay attention to this section, so it will give you some some instructions or some messages about the program. So for aluminum, you can predict the future prices, and we'll get to that later. So, for example, for another individual commodity such as beef, we click it here, and it says the commodity future price cannot be predicted. So, as you can see here, this is grayed out. So if you look under here, the dates available to you will be shown, and Abdul will explain how these dates are acquired.
The dates for each category of the commodity price indices and individual commodity prices were found through a function I created for called year display, and the function compares the user's string and selection to the original data set, the original cell array for all the month and years, and then selects out the ones that have valid data slots that are not NaN, for not a number. It removes not a number and keeps all the data sets, and then compares to see which of those years it exists.
So continuing with the GUI, so next there's an option to click four types of plots. First one option will be months prices, which for every year, a year range, a bar chart quarterly, and a bar chart range. So yeah, you could choose one option. If you change your mind, just click the other option. For example, I will show it here. Click months prices. The only option available choosing this will be months. So we would choose September, for example, and then we proceed to click the graph button. To have a more accurate graph, please click the maximize button for able to see the whole graph. Well, now if we change our minds about the what commodity product all we want, we just proceed to the GUI. We'll click it. For example, con. Now then we just proceed proceed to click the graph button. It will change automatically, and if you want to change like the type of plot, you just go, for example, to bar charts. You choose a starting year, which is based upon the years available to you. Make sure you always click on years, for example, 1995, 1998, 80, and 1995, and you graph, and a chart will pop up. Okay, so now to proceed to the predictions. So the predictions menus, as earlier mentioned, will only become available if a commodity is picked that is available for future prediction. As you can see here, cotton is an item that is available for future prediction. So what you do is, for future prediction, you go to day and you choose a date. For example, the 20th. You choose a month, proceed to do a month. For example, October, and you type in the year here. For example, 2013, and you click the predict button. The number here will pop up, and Abdul will explain how this price here was generated.
The predicted price was generated through the usage of an exponential moving average, in which it takes the original data set and follows a trend between each data set, and then it creates a smoother curve. And using that smoother curve, we can analyze a better prediction for what the for what the price would be in the user specified date. And in order to calculate how far off it needs to, the val function needs to calculate, I developed an algorithm between the month, day, and year that produces an input that calculates how far from the initial point that the fitted polynomial should calculate, and then that's where the price comes from.
So after you're done with the program, you click close. As a side note, click run twice, and as mentioned before, this program works even though the price is already predicted, or the program works. So it's bookmark, you can use it anytime. So if you already generated another graph or you already predicted data, you can change this by clicking aluminum, for example, which is a data which is you can predict for, and then you can see the message pops up, and then you just re-click everything. Like, oh, you don't have to, you just for here you just re-click it, or you can just proceed, because when you change this year, you predict the price, and as you can see here, it predicts the price here for aluminum instead of the previous option we chose. Thank you for using our program.